Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready? The markets are ripping and it's all about good old CPI. We'll talk a little bit about that. And in today's show, you find out why I don't want to lose all my hair. Find out right here, of course, on live trading, guys. Smash the like. Who's getting that chicken dinner today?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Let's get after it, Jonathan. It's good to see you in the chat. I'm ready to get after the trading day. Of course, we got Ryan Faluna in the house. We'll talk all about what happened there as CPI just comes in a 0.1% better than expected, but that gets us to a neutral outlook and the markets are ripping, man. What a rip. Let's get to the action. Let me go ahead and bring my screen here. I talked a little bit about these swing trades on, of course, pre-market prep. So if you're not watching pre-market prep, like always, what the heck are you doing in the morning getting ready for the market? But let's get to the action here as we see what? Well, a nice little liftoff already. Starting to get a little bit of a push there on AAL. Net P&L is showing up here as negative because it still shows up my loss from yesterday. But essentially, once this goes positive, that will show me that not only am I positive on the trade, but positive even from the loss yesterday on AAL. I took some off. I had a bigger position, and I said, you know what? I'm going to lower down to a swing and take some of that off. It's okay to take a small hit, but I don't want to be overnight with, like, let's say 300, 500 shares in AAL, especially on a CPI day. So you guys see the swings and look at the XRT, guys. Up now, what? 142 on a 75 share position. This is what I want to show you guys. This is what I do in my bread and butter account, right? My swing trading. And I wanted to show more and more of this. We talked about it. Now you guys see it here. 5 trades on. And this is another thing that I like, right? Exposure in different areas is going to be important to me. And also being able to what? Diversify in the risk, right? Because when we have all our eggs in one basket, what normally happens, somebody trips and falls, and next thing you know, yolks are everywhere. And the truth is, we can't be worrying so much about one trade because what we do, we lose out a lot of the time on the opportunity cost to go trade others. So that's what I wanted to start the day with. Let's get to the action. Let's talk about trades that we could be looking at today. Of course, I'm going to be looking for laggards type of trades because if I look for the tech trade, that has already gone, man. There's not going to be much tech trade after this, right? I mean, Microsoft ripping the 372. How much more can we get there? So I think today you watch for different type of stocks. One that's going to be on my radar that I was thinking about buying yesterday was Disney. Disney's releasing ESPN bets, right? And Penn could also maybe get a little bit of a lift off on this. So I'm going to be watching these stocks and maybe take a shot on that. I'm going to continue to watch to see what happens in kind of laggard stocks. But today is one of those days where I also look at the ARKK. And why? Because it's kind of a risk on type of day, of course, with this big up action in the market. And so I look for names that have growth to maybe reverse today. So look for those types of names to maybe reverse. I talked about it in the morning. Would we see C kind of lift off with the CPI and just come right back? Well, you're seeing it already do that action. Stocks like this, I'm going to keep an eye out. We'll see what happens. I'm going to kick it to Ryan, of course, because I know he's probably covered a million stocks. And if you guys don't keep up with Ryan on the happy hour and you guys are pro users, what are you guys doing? Because that's really when my man does, I do an afternoon show. My man does an afternoon show and covers the market with a bunch of pro traders. That's the happy hour. And that's only for Benzinga Pro members. If you're a Benzinga Pro member, give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know so that we know who's rocking the pro out there and who isn't. We'll get to the trading action on Trade the Pool, of course, and the hot stocks. When I come back, I'm going to first go to Ryan's Outlook in the SPY. And then I will give you guys the hot stocks before the market open. I'm ready, man. Let's get after it, team. What do you got, Ryan?
Okay, well, a couple of things here. So first, I'm going to go ahead. I actually got this from 13, who's a member of our community.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if he's here, so I'm trying to redo these lines from memory from one of his charts. This is a broadening descending wedge that I basically just drew here, and we just broke out of it. The reason I drew this is because this has existed on his chart for weeks. Sorry, I jumped right into that. I was super excited, jumped right into that without giving you guys enough context. Per the happy hour show that you were just talking about, Mitch, one of the things that we do every single day is we review the SPY. And I encourage all of the viewers out there to chart and give their thoughts on what's going on. 13 has taken it a step further. He is adding to his annotated chart, drawing studies, determining different levels. And so we get a lot of stuff from that analysis, and now I'm trying to bring it here. The chart exists on his computer, so I don't have access to it, so I'm trying to recreate it in a pinch here. I actually just spoke with him this morning.
It looks good. It looks good. I think
this
that's
is
exactly the pattern. That's exactly
Absolutely
what we want to be looking for. And now I'd be looking for what? The throwback look, right? Can it come back to that trend line? That's what
so a couple of things. And number one, to all of you that are happy hours, I'm sorry I had an extenuating circumstance yesterday. We will confirmed be back today. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Sorry about yesterday. Now, Mitch, as far as the formation right here, I'm still in the bearish camp. Like I understand what's going on. I see that we're ripping. I'm not trying to stay wrong, to borrow Jay Rice's quote that he borrowed from somebody else. I can't remember who that was. I'm not trying to stay wrong, but I'm just kind of keeping that outlook. What I refuse to do is be trapped on some type of bull trap move up towards the highs, only to be trapped in a position and puked out on the backside. Like, I'm not looking for any of that. Yeah. So I'm taking everything with a grain of salt, but again, this is kind of where I'm at. I'm still overall bearish. Maybe we do kind of retrace today. The one thing that I will say is, given the CPI print today, let me actually go over that here. So the CPI month over month for October, 0.2 versus a 0.3 estimate. The CPI year over year for October, 3.2 versus the 3.3 estimate. 3.7 was the prior reading. So inflation going down here, this should be good for rates. This is basically telling the market rate hikes are done. If you look at the Fed watch tool, the probability for a pause jumped up to 98% today. And so I think the effect on that is that we're going to have smaller cap stocks actually make a move today. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on. And Jay Rice right here adding in IWM. Don't forget the bios. They've been beaten down worse than the IWM XBI. I think you might see these baskets move today. Now, a couple of things here. First of all, I'm still in my Eat It swing in my main account. That's the gene editor, the CRISPR technology. That would be considered a biotech. That actually had a really strong, in fact, let's go back to the chart here. We can take a look at it. Eat It. Right here, this actually had a nice strong reversal, put in a nice hammer candle that really is coming off of the 20-day moving average. We actually just broke above the 50. So anyway, this looks good. I'm still in this. I'm down. My cost basis on this is like 811. So I'm down just a little bit, but this actually looks pretty good. Let me go back and let's talk about Save, the trade that we took yesterday here on the show. I'm extremely happy to hear Mitch talking about wanting to do more on swing trading. Now, Mitch came in with his prop account, and he's got 4 positions live. Let me go ahead and make this full screen here. I'm not quite at that level, but what I did do here is I actually held Save yesterday, right? We were buying it right in here, added when it went lower, really couldn't break out. This started off as a day trade, but given everything that we were talking about, I figured, you know what? This setup really hasn't invalidated itself. We might as well keep this on for a swing. Well, guess what? Today, we're actually gapping up here. So it'll be interesting to see if these airlines go. You can see we have a nice little profit here on just 500 shares of stock. Really not even a huge position here for Save. Let's see if we get a move here out of the open. The one thing I will say is now that I've held this overnight, I'm certainly not going to let this go red. So I, too, am working on a swing in the prop account. Now, let's go back to Benzinga Pro here. Let's go over some of the other issues here today. I'm going to start with AIRE. Carmen, I know that you were talking about this a little bit earlier. You had said you didn't see any news. I didn't either. And I actually looked for some here today. I can't find any company-specific news. This looks purely like a volume-based technical move, perhaps, for me. So if we do end up trading this today, we'll keep that in mind. We'll trade some of the technical setups on this. To me, this would, I know that you're holding it for initiating a new trade here. It would strictly be for the purpose of a day trade, at least for myself. But I too could not find any news on this here this morning. We are up. We did actually pop as high as 1770 in the after hour session yesterday. Good gosh. Came back here to 7. This is still up nearly 100%. It actually looks like, yeah, just because we got a little bit of a rise right into the close yesterday, up about 100%. This thing's absolutely wild. There should be some more opportunity to trade this here today, especially for you gunslingers out there. Okay, a couple more issues here. First one here is going to be BioCardia. This is ticker BCDA. You can see this stock has taken 2 legs up here, an initial rip on the PR, and then another, excuse me, another move above 140 here. Looks like we topped out at about 148 and came back in. We're pretty extended from the VWAP. This was a penny stock, actually a sub 50-cent penny stock. That's now about $1.50. Absolutely wild. If we take a look here at the news, you can see BioCardia announced FDA approval of CardiAmp Heart Failure 2 protocol for an autologous. Probably saying that wrong. Cell therapy for I'm not even going to go with these health terms. I've embarrassed myself enough this morning. Basically, what we're looking at here is we have some FDA approval for phase 3 clinical trial of one of its drugs that treats heart failure. Here's the thing about this stock. This, to me, I would place the percent of a capital raise for this stock at, I'm going to say 99%. And the only reason I'm going to say 99% is because 100%, so absolute certainty, freaks a lot of people out. I have got to think that this stock that's up 240% today at some point is going to do a raise. So right away, that helps me determine my trading plan. If we do trade this here today, like for example, there's no way I'm buying it this extended from the VWAP, but let's say we get a nice pullback down towards the VWAP, it holds it, and it looks like it's going to bounce there. If I trade this today, there is absolutely no way that I am going to hold this overnight. There's just no way. This is a primo candidate for a capital raise. There's no rules saying that they can't happen during the market, but most of them happen in the after hours session. So just keep that in mind if you're going to trade this. Just understand that this is likely a candidate for a capital raise, given the huge move here. But looking at it, volume absolutely incredible. Move looks pretty incredible. Let's see. On average, we trade 100,000 shares this morning. We've traded 43.5 million shares. I mean, this thing might get bonkers today. So just keep it in mind. Just know what you're trading, know what you're buying, know what you're holding. BCDA. We already talked a little bit about AIRE. Next one here is going to be THRX. This is Theseus Pharmaceuticals. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. We did pop in the after hours yesterday, and we had another leg up here today. We're actually doing a really good job of holding above the VWAP. Yesterday, we got news after the close that Theseus Pharmaceuticals announces a process to explore strategic alternatives. So now this is talking about potential merger and acquisition, but there's nothing finalized here. There could be, I mean, I don't know anything about the particular company or the technology here, so I'm not sure how likely it is that there's a bidding war. But when they say that they're exploring strategic alternatives, there might be more than one candidate for a possible merger. That can sometimes drive the price. Also, there is no price at which this company is going to get taken over, at least not right now. So, giddy up. We're up about 45% here today. This one looks to be wild. Again, I would trade the technicals here. We'll see. THRX. This one looking pretty good. Pretty good news post here this morning. If any of you guys have some more stuff on this, I'd like to hear it. I'm going to go over to you. I know we're running out of time here, so let me just be real quick. INVO. This is another one. We've actually talked about this recently. I think as early as yesterday, maybe even the day before. INVO taking another leg higher here today. We did have earnings. Looks like earnings yesterday after hours, and that is driving it again here today. So INVO Again, watch the technicals. Looks like we are beneath the VWAP and we're leaking a little bit here. Hopefully we don't break to the downside here. I really don't want this to go much under 2. If it starts to have increased selling volume as it moves under 2, probably would take this one off. I don't have it on right now. Probably wouldn't trade this. I'd look for something else, but INVO might be on. Little shout out here to Jay, was talking about biotechs. LabU, which is the levered bull biotech ETF. This is gapping up here today. Let's see if we get a run out of this. Again, this is one of those things that decays, so don't buy and hold. These are just trading vehicles, but it's worth mentioning because we're seeing that up here today. TNA, this is another one of those small cap bull shares like we already talked about. Certainly looks like small caps are going to have a day today. We'll see if that continues. Open Door gapping up here today. Our favorite stock, Affirm, gapping up. Glad I'm not short here. Affirm gapping up. We'll see if this ends up stalling out. Joby up here today. That means watch Archer as well. Those two like to trade with one another. Now, I know we're running out of time here. We've got just under a minute. Just under a minute. I wanted to go over. What
you got for us, Ryan?
I'm just want to go over through the chat here. BCDA, looks like a number of people are already in BCDA. Congrats if you had that. Carmen, primo candidate for a short play. I don't know what you're talking about. BCDA is a good play. FDA commercialization approval, quality candidate, quality catalyst, excuse me. I gotcha. XX, you like that giddy up? EKS? I don't know if it's XX or EKS. I don't know what you prefer, but let me know.
Yeah, I have an update at least for crypto guy that you guys can learn from. We're going to actually be bringing on default trades next week, Tuesday. So
10 seconds, folks.
We'll get to that. Now, I did want to give you guys at least a little bit of some action from, of course, Trade the Pool. Hot stocks to watch. Stocks in play today. On. Look at the resistance support there. Resistance at 28.30. Support 24. CSIQ, major disaster stock of the day. And SE, I talked about it. Will it come back? Let's find out, team. Smash the like if you guys are enjoying this live trading with Benzinga. Let's get to the action. Of course, I got my swing trades on here. Let's see what we can come up with today, guys. Let's get after it. All right, first things first is we're going to look for a nice little rip here on the XRT and look to sell some into this. Let's go to the daily chart. Let's look at what daily levels we could look for to run into some resistance. I see 6150s as being a level that I could sell some. I'm going to sell half there, right? I'm going to sell not really half. I'm going to sell 30 shares there. So something just to give ourselves at least a guaranteed profits here. Let's see if we can get it. 6150s orders out right now. It's 6142 on the offer. Let's see if we can get it to come up here, hit that, and then keep going. VSI, Victoria's Secret giving me an alert right off the top. So I'm going to go looking for Victoria's Secret here as I wanted to play this one. It's already getting a lift on the kind of the daily, of course. Everything's kind of gapped up. So looking for pullbacks back towards 1925. So if I can get a pullback below this 1930 spot, I'm definitely going to take a shot on this. Just needed to come to the 25 area for daily pullbacks, breakout resistance right above the $20 mark. So we'll see what happens on that one. Best Buy, man, 50 shares now up $80 on that one. And this one, I can start letting it work a little bit further out. You guys see some target profits right there, but I'm going to cancel that for right now and just continue to work this. Of course, we're never going to let this go back to red, and that's an important outlook too. We'll see what happens if I get hit here. And XRT still not through that 6150 level. Looking for another little push here to take some profits.
All right, watching a couple of things here this morning. That save swing coming in from the pre-market highs, but we're still good there. Actually just kind of waiting for this to bounce. Again, not going to let this go red on me after yesterday. Ads yesterday looking really good here today. The other one that I talked about that was kind of blending into what we were discussing here as a group is going to be that Eat It swing. Eat It, nice move here. You all right?
I cashed it. I cashed them there.
Okay.
The register rings, baby.
All right, you're up. So anyways, things looking good here. Things looking good, at least so far. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to definitely wait out the first 15 minutes and see what kind of head fakes we can avoid. That is not the ticker that I typed in, but GG's. Okay.
All right, guys, I'm going to look to sell out half of this push to 66 here. So 65.95s. I'm willing to take it half off there for Best Buy and then leave the remainder working. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to secure profits. There it goes to 66 on the offer. Should get hit in a second. And any second now, we should hit the cash register one more time here. And I want to show you guys this because this is the way I go about it a lot in my kind of swing trade outlook. And what I like about this is what we're going to talk about, and what my question was in the beginning of the day today is how do you save your hair in trading, right? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Let's do that. I like my hair. I want to save it.
There it is. Moved it down a little bit. Cash register on, guys, and making that money today. I said today I'm walking in like John Cena, baby. Let's go. Taking those profits, baby. You know, your boy Money Mitch coming in here hot today as we're getting, of course, the CPI trade to lead the rally out there. And watch out, because it's fast trading out there, team. And Best Buy, not a bad little swing trade on. And now you guys see me, what? Net 124, and still the position's working for me. This is what I talk about, not losing your hair, as swing trading to me is so much less stress, because when positions go against me in swing trading, I'm more than able to cut them. And a lot of the times they're very small losses because of the small position size that I had in it, right? Like Best Buy, I was risking about $1. I've already secured that profit and risk already. 55, right? If I risk 50, I already taken off 55. Essentially, the shares are free now in my eyes, and I could let this continue to work. This is what I talk about, and not losing your hair. Day trading, oh, trust me. There's one thing that I worry about when I day trade, and it's not about losing. It's more about losing my hair, man, because the stress that you get so much in day trading. This is why I like swing trading, guys.
Yeah, I do too. By the way, great call by our chat here. BCDA came in a little bit to the, let's see, I've got it at the 65 EMA on the 1 minute chart bounce. Shout out to Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades. Beg your pardon. Always talking about the 65 EMA. Anyway, we came into that bounce. Now we bounced into an upside halt. So BCDA halted 144 to the upside. Looks like a couple of you grabbed that. Congratulations. You know, the one thing to keep in mind here, I'm looking around, we want to make sure that big cap tech didn't already put the high in here today. Now I'm looking at the NASDAQ here. It's right at the highs. Maybe this will go a little bit higher here, but I'm looking around at some individual names. NVIDIA, this is down 4 points off the highs. Apple's down off the highs. Netflix is down off the highs. So we want to see if that trend here continues. Remember, one of the big things is that I don't want to chase and buy fake outs. So just a couple of things to look at, not really affecting any trades yet, just bringing it to the group here, along with the halt on BCDA. Looks like Owlet was halted here, Mitch.
Oh, Outlet.
Halted at 613.
Ooh, that's the downside. That popped to 7, though.
Yep, popped to 7. Looks like we had Prince at 7 too.
Man, do you guys remember I had a swing trade on for this specific move? I missed the hell out of this move on Monday. I was looking for a move back to the pre-market 6, and I had this under 5. The move went to 7. So I would have made an insane amount on that one. I just didn't hold on to it. But it was an interesting kind of swing trade approach. I'm looking for KSS department stores. So today, Ryan, you just mentioned something that I think is very vital. So instead of looking for the big cap names, because big cap tech, and I mentioned this in the pre-market, so I'm not cherry picking here. I thought it. I don't like big cap tech on this move. It's already had its move.
Yeah.
I'm looking for lagging sectors, lagging industries to play catch up. And what do you see leading the boat today? You see real estate, cyclicals, and communication services, then basic materials. Then you have technology. So I'm looking at real estate, cyclicals, and communication services as those types of plays that I come after. Consumer cyclical has a lot of my retail names, so I'm willing to go into that space. Lodging doing well today, department stores doing well, auto truck dealerships doing well. A reversal of what we've seen in the past. Apparel stores are doing well today. So my retail trade and the XRT trade, oh, we doing good, baby. Let's keep it working.
INVO, this is trading up here on INVO. We'll see if we can break out of that 234 on INVO. Still kind of watch and save. Disappointed with its performance here. We'll see if we can bounce and move back towards that 950 level. Intraday high of the regular session here at 925. Current price 917. We'll see where we move from there.
Well, guys, a firm already moving. I talked about how this could be a risk-on day for those momentum plays. Look at the rip already in the firm. It's the exact kind of play that I was thinking about in the pre-market. You got to be thinking risk on. You got to be looking for those growth types of plays and looking for a nice little pop. The next one I'd be thinking about is Carvana, but it's already done a monster move to 32. Names like that, you can definitely catch it on this push. And ARKK, what's leading there? You have some stocks leading there. DNA getting a nice little push up there for a cheaper name to keep an eye out for. I see TDOC moving 2%, SHOP moving higher. So many names moving higher. So if the ARKK can stay strong, look for those stocks to keep catching up. And momentum names definitely in play today.
All right. Yeah. Jay saying even TAN is ripping. Jay, it's all about rates, right? Solar tied to rates. It looks like rates not going any higher here. That is causing some of those things to rip. At least that's my read on it.
TAN, bro, I would stay away with that with a 10-foot pole, but that's just me because that's I always lose on that ETF. But we'll see what happens on solar names. That's the one area that I would personally avoid in technology. It does lead it though with momentum, right? Solar usually has that momentum, at least for the day. You are getting that push. The one to watch, the one that got hit the most with the horrible guidance. I know there's going to be some traders scratching their head. Look at CSIQ as this comes all the way back, right? And so CSIQ, let's get it up here.
Mitch, real quick here, as you're bringing that up, BCDA opened, rehalted, this time to the downside, halted 137 here, BCDA.
All right, we'll see what happens today. It's important to watch the IWM. If that's doing well, those smaller names could do well.
Born, I'm with you on this. It might just be you and me here today, but you know what? We'll get some hot cocoa, a little bit of bourbon. We'll have a good time if it's just you and me in that camp. But I'm with you here. The last thing that I want to do is it has one data print, kind of fake me out, and then get in trouble. I mean, I'll play tactically. Thankfully, I've got some swings on that are working off of this move, so we'll manage those positions. But again, I'm with you. I'm going to stay in the bear camp.
I think you're doing it wrong if you're in the bear camp, at least on the day trading side today.
No,
and it's okay for me to say that.
You know what? You're making a very, very good distinction. Day trading camp, I'm not necessarily looking for bear setups. I'm not looking for shorts here. I'm looking to ride the momentum wave that we're in. The overall outlook on the market, though, I don't think our problems are solved with this data print. I think it's giving us temporary relief. I think we're going to see some moves from that, which we're going to try to trade as a group here. But overall, I'm not changing my sentiment. That's all I meant. And you're right. Okay. I should have clarified that because that's a big difference.
No worries. And that's the important part, right? We always talk about both sides of the coin here. And I think on the day trading side, if you're feeling bearish today, you're probably going to be scratching your head, right? How many of those bears just got squeezed? We had one down day, and then all of a sudden, what do we get after that? We got a big rip and an even bigger rip today. So it's just going to be hard to be positioned on the downside here. Especially, this just goes to show me that big money put it to us here. As the market was coming down, they were staying in the bigger names. Now they might lighten up in the bigger names and look to catch other areas. Like, let's say even financial services could go higher today. Why? Because they're playing catch up. And so like JPM, we'll see what happens on that one today. Honestly, the banks could move higher today. Debt limit cloud. Yeah, that's going to come at the end of the week, Lynn. That's when I think we'll start to see a little bit of concern. Will the government shut down this time? I think yes. That's what I mentioned. I have actually a lunch bet on with Joel Alconen about this. So look forward to seeing a good lunch in December because I think that we're actually going to get a little bit of a shutdown this time. Yeah,
I go back and forth on this. I first of all, I don't really think it's ever appropriate to have any of our soldiers not getting paid. People that are defending our country, they need to know that their checks are going to clear and they're going to get paid.
It's not only the soldiers though.
No,
right,
I understand.
Ryan? Like
I
have someone just to kind of give you a personal story here with it. I know someone that works on a space contract, right? They're part of a space company. They're an engineer. and they're working on a defense contract, right? Those people wouldn't get paid in this case.
There's more than just the soldiers that I mentioned. That's just the one that I brought up.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of put it out there
but
too.
You're absolutely right.
Kind of add to it.
Notwithstanding, I really think that there is a huge problem with spending with our government.
100%.
And I don't think it's necessarily one side. I actually think it's everyone involved. And I think that what this might try to do is try to curtail some of that. And it might be painful at first. If I had to bet, I would take the bet that the government does not shut down. Frankly, that's just where I would sit from that. But at the same time, the reason that this is even a problem is because we're just spending way too much money.
Here's an interesting trade here, guys. I'm going to look for a quick little pullback here. But Pfizer, did you hear about them getting into the weight loss drugs? So it looks like everybody's getting into the weight loss drugs as Pfizer looks to get their drug out there, and they're going to be doing studies, and this is reversing off of a really negative trend. So that's why I'm taking a look at it. It's been really beaten down. Will it have a nice day today? I feel like this is the perfect type of trade that institutional action would come in off the lows, essentially 52-week lows, and maybe buying up here. We'll see what happens. Interesting trade there. I'll tell you that much. Basic materials going higher. There is one area where I'm caught right now that it's not that bad. It's down 1.3%, which is CEIX. Not going to let it get through 98 today. If that does come back through the 98s, I definitely got to get out. So I'm going to already set that stop there and just continue to watch to see what happens in coal. But this is just being careful about energy. Everything up from the open team. What's leading? Real estate, cyclicals, and basic materials. That's why cyclicals are definitely on my radar here. I've been looking for a pullback in KSS, but I haven't gotten it, team. It's already almost up to 22.
Patience is working out here. Number one, closed my swing and eat it in my main account. That went red on me. I added, I got it back here. I'm not sure how much higher this goes. At this point, I'm just ready to kind of take it off the table, booked some gains on eat it. But the big thing that I'm looking at here is going to be save. Great job staying in here both yesterday and today on this sell-off. We did take out that 925. It appears that we're moving higher. I have a high print in the pre-market here at 945. This is about 2 cents higher than yesterday's intraday high. I'd love to see Save take this off. We're 500 shares long here. Average price 898. Giddy up. Let's roll.
Whew, guys, remember earlier I was able to cash in there on XRT at 61.50s. We're almost to 62 now. Entrance on this one was 59.17. You guys see why I like swing trading? Hit the like button, guys. All right, KSS going higher. I'm looking for some type of pullback in those names. Macy's not getting the pullback. KSS not getting the pullback. So I'm looking for it. I just haven't gotten it. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm not buying the highs here. I need pullback action. I need some bulls to get stuffed, and then I can jump in. On is another one that I can maybe look at today. That's still in the red. Now trying to turn around. This report really wasn't the worst, and they did have earnings this morning. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. Is it going to go red to green here is one thing that I'm keeping an eye on. A lot of that is also something that I could watch is Nike. Nike's trying to get above the 106 level and did have a little pop this morning. And then for that, maybe the watch is also on the Crocs. Crocs is going higher there towards 81. This is one I talked about this morning. They had to deal with McDonald's recently. I'm going to look for some pullback here in the footwear and accessory game today. All right, SPY overall just continuing now, 447. IWM is important too. Can it go through the 176 and hold pullbacks to 174? You're going to get some smaller names there to definitely get the lift today. STRO. SMTI, TSVT. I'm just naming names out there that are making big moves on the day. PCT up 14%. That's Pure Cycle Technologies getting a nice little lift. Looking like it might go through 4 there. It's at 390s. Bird trying to maybe break $1 today. You guys know Bird, right? Those are those. That's that scooter that you guys see everywhere. We'll see what happens on that one. On trying to hold on here on the pullbacks. Can we continue lifting? The Qs now might do a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to start looking for some pullback action in just a second here. Might even sell some XRT. But to tell you the truth on this XRT trade, the rest, I'm trying to make a good amount here. I'm trying to make over like 200 on that. If I can make 200 on the remaining shares, on 45 shares, yeah, I'll take it, team. We're looking great. All right, Mara and MSTR. Yeah, those are some that you can definitely keep an eye out. Caleb says, I bought some on this morning. I love the shoes. We'll see what happens there. All right. Nah, birds are the shoes. Oh, the Allbirds, they're junks. All right, there. Thank you, Marty. Thank you for correcting me. I thought it was the scooter one. Didn't the scooter one come out as a SPAC? I probably missed it. Yeah, that might be the shoes one there, the bird, and that's why it's moving up. Yeah, apparel. So it is getting the lift there. It's at 77 cents. We'll see if it gets to $1 today. Also looking to see and hear about cannabis. MSOS going higher, guys. A little bit of a spike above 7. Now it's 688. Can some cannabis stocks move? I've been talking to some cannabis, of course, with the Dales Report team. If you guys don't know the Dales Report team, we have a new podcast that we do with a collab. And that's of course, with the Dales Report team, that's the Trade to Black podcast. And they do a great job covering cannabis, psychedelics, and the Web3 space. So check that out. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. A lot going on today. And you know what's one thing that you see me? I'm not even opening up positions right now. Why? Because my positions are doing the heavy lifting for me. This is what I talk about sometimes where I let the market do the work. Right now, the market's working. I'm not. I'm just hanging out with you guys. So smash the like. And this is what I mean by a little bit less stressed trading, right? It's usually stressed on swing trades the day you open it. But if you can start getting into your favor and start hanging out on the trend, that's when we can start looking for those bigger gains.
SPCB penny stock for you penny players out there. Great intraday 1 minute formation. Let's see if it can move above 51. We saw a couple of these penny stocks really move yesterday. I think Crow, you were trading them. Just shouting it out here, not taking this trade myself. This does not fit my profile, but decent formation here. BCDA looks like some of those early halts are out of the way here. Let's see if this breaks higher or if this breaks down. Breakdown spot I've got at 119. That's going to be your VWAP breakout spot. 155, current price 139. Let's see which direction we go. Again, no position on that one. One of the other ones that I wanted to talk about, I mentioned it I traded it the other day, didn't really make a whole lot on it, really should have held it. This is EJH. Now we talked about this being kind of a scammy company. This was the day that we were trading it here, came all the way back, made a little bit on it. Nice little move yesterday, and then an extending move here today. Easy for me to say. So EJH, interesting. Sorry that I'm not in this one. Again, kind of going back to the whole day trading thing, Mitch. The buy on EJH, there's just no way I would have held that one. Like, that's not a stock that I was realistically going to hold overnight. And sure enough, that's where the big move was. I just straight up missed it because of my plan. So we'll see. Still looking at save here in the prop account. Save moving up. I really want to see if this high can get broken. We've come up here a few times now. Time to take that high out. We'll see if we get that.
All right, going to continue looking for what's leading. Residential construction, one of the strongest industries on the day, up about 3.66%. Department stores, still no pullback for KSS, guys. This is the one I've been trying to buy today, KSS, but I mean, it's kind of hard to buy this chart right here. I just can't buy that right now. And it's looking great, though. And this is the type of stock that I was looking at even yesterday. I talked about it. Would KSS be the one that could turn back, as it did a 50% retracement of the recent move and now is already back up there to 22? Doesn't look too bad there. And do I love Kohl's? No, I really don't. I think in the long run, this thing turns into a JCPenney. But the truth is, you got to be able to be nimble. Got to be able to not just stick to the story in your mind and trade the trade, right? We'll see what happens.
Real quick, love this comment here from EKS. EKS says, if you have the inventory, you can peel off shares into this rip. Just saying. So I don't want to speak for you or put words in your mouth, but the way that I take that, EKS, is that you're saying if you've got long positions and you're getting this pop, Don't be afraid to pay yourself with some of it. You don't necessarily have to close the
100%.
whole thing, but don't be afraid to pay yourself with some of it. We're getting a nice big rip here. Selling into that rip is the way that you want to go. I think that's prudent. I think that's prudent given the environment we find ourselves in. I think that's really good.
I think that's important, and look for maybe some daily resistance or prior support to come into play as resistance. So that's what I'm looking at right here on Best Buy, right? First spot for me is this bottoming level here. That's towards 67. I mean, I've already taken some off there at 65.92, another dollar higher. I'm willing to take another little bit off. We'll see what happens if it can get up there. Right now I have 66.80s, so it could do a little pop into that, sell to 67, and then look for the retrace back to VWAP. At this point, I'll never lose on this position because I'll always cut it. But this is what I mean by letting them work, and then also looking for those profit targets. Good mention in the chat. I like it.
SPCB, by the way, we just talked about this penny play, did take out that 51, moved right up to that pre-market high. Do not think that's a coincidence. Let's see if we take 54 out here, 55 next. It's likely going higher here. Great job if you guys are in SPCB. Again, don't forget to pay yourself. There's 55 prints right there. Cleo, you love it, don't you?
Cleo loves it, baby.
He does. He is... Yeah.
He wants to get hogged, the Harley Davidson. He wants a little trip on the hog. Hog's actually doing well today, guys. Who has a Harley out there, team? I haven't been allowed to buy one yet.
I had one experience with a motorcycle when I was younger. I almost died. I thankfully walked away without even so much as a scratch on me. That's it for me. 4 wheels for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's definitely one of the most dangerous things to do, but hey.
Look, people love it. I'm not going to knock it. I tried it for myself. I had a bad experience.
I'll talk about which one I wanted to buy a little bit later today. There's one that I really like, and I'm like more the sports cruiser type than the chopper type because they're just too heavy. But we'll talk a little bit about that. Ooh, a Road King. Yeah, that's too heavy for me, Jay Michael. But hey, those are good bikes, man. That's for sure.
Heavy bikes, sir. It's heavy bikes.
No lie, man. I'm skinny, bro. Like I'll get thrown by that bike. I don't want to be falling down here in the middle of traffic.
Yeah, Mitch, we don't need you being thrown off of a bike into traffic. We don't need any terrible situation like that.
No, we don't need that, man. All right, let's see what else is out there, guys. Smash the like. It's that type of day where right now we're just grinding and grinding higher. Just to kind of mention it, nothing in the red from the open. That just goes to show us if we're shorting today, maybe we're doing it wrong. And of course, you guys make your own decisions, but it just looks like it out there. Upstart even giving me an alert. Man, what is going on if Upstart is giving me that alert? Look at that thing go. I talked about momentum names. That's a momentum name. That thing is taking off here. Those are the type of stocks that I'd also be looking. Stocks that weren't moving before the CPI report, but look at this move now. I'll show you guys the Upstart chart right here. Look at that. Boom. Takeoff, pullback, takeoff. Those are the type of charts that I kind of like right now. Like a firm, probably very similar. Holds that pullback, now trying to take off through the high. We'll see if this continues to go. Best Buy now starting to move there. Can you give me that nice little lift here? And then I'll take a little bit more profits off. XRT struggling here by the 63s. And we'll continue to kind of work this one. What about JPM? It's right on the VWAP right now. If you think that that's going to start getting some lift, I'm looking at it here. I think it could pull back to 146.50s. You guys have been waiting for that SoFi trade. I know a lot of people have talked about that trade. I think now it might have a chance to get going with just the positive that's in the market. Para getting a little bit of a lift. Even Fubo is getting a little bit of a lift today. Snapchat had some interesting news there with Amazon that you can now purchase off Snapchat ads right there. You can purchase from Amazon on Snapchat. What do you guys think about that move?
Yeah, someone explain that to me. So I'm at risk of being the dumb boomer. First of all, I don't use Snapchat, but I can't ever imagine myself snap buying something. See what I did there? Off of a Snapchat ad. Like what's the benefit there? Who does that? Why would you do that? Don't you compare prices? Don't you kind of shop around? I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
People have gotten to the point, Ryan, where probably I would say about 90% of people just believe that Amazon has the best price. They just believe it.
Okay.
Just right off the top. And so they don't even do no shopping around, Ryan. They see something and they impulse buy a lot of the times. Let's just be honest. Amazon makes it pretty easy to impulse buy. And I think that that's the important thing there. And then does Amazon have the best prices? I would definitely not think so. But the truth is that you have to look around. Most people, Ryan, let's just be honest. The majority is lazy, man.
Look, I'm not even going to sit here and wax poetic. There are plenty of things that I am lazy with. I admit it. I admit it. And there was a time where everything was the cheapest on Amazon. That's not the case anymore. But even so, like if I'm like here, I'll give you an example of something that I happen to have on my desk. Right here is a portable power bank. Okay. Yeah. I needed some of these for a couple of things. Number one, I needed to be able to charge my watch and my phone and my earbuds on the go. And number two, I have a bunch of these LED signs that I want to power. And in some cases, I want to hang them and not have cords dangling. So I put a power pack there with it. This is a cheap purchase. These are $20 tops, right? Yeah. When I went to Amazon and I read reviews, I shopped around for different power banks. I lose that entire ability to do that by buying Snapchat ads. This is the point that I don't understand. Maybe this is just a me thing. That's possible. I don't get it. The impulse buying. I see a lot of the chat here mentioning impulse buying. Totally get that. I guess I'm just not much of an impulse buyer. I like to at least look at a couple of different products. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here.
And you're not wrong for that, but I would say the majority doesn't. At least that's what I would say. All right, guys, looking around to try to find some trades out there, team. There's so much that has already lifted off. It's kind of hard to catch the move today. And I am not one of those that likes to buy the high. Some people like to buy the high of the day or buy the breakout. That's not my alley today. And so at this point, I'm just on wait and see. I need pullbacks. If not, I can't join the party. What about Home Depot today? How's that doing? 306 now. Man, what a move if you swung Home Depot overnight. That went from below 290s, now 306. Home Depot up about 6% from yesterday. What a move. It's up 18 points. Ooh, Lowe's is right now off the VWAP. That's an interesting outlook. That already had somewhat of a pop there. So I'm wondering if it can get that next lift. It went to 200 multiple times, then bounced off that 199.80s. That's kind of the level I'd look for Lowe's to hold now. We'll see what happens on that one, but doesn't look too bad. Here's Lowe's to show you guys. This one doesn't look too bad there. The key is I would like to see an attempt to break down this 201. Maybe come with a quick little sweep and then right back up. We'll see what happens. I already missed that first move to 200. I really like this little move to 200 if someone was able to get it there. But, I mean, now I'm just kind of picking, right, on the chart. We'll see what happens.
BCDA broke down to its VWAP here, but isn't breaking down any further. We'll see if it actually bounces from there. Save here, unfortunately, right at VWAP. If this breaks away from its VWAP without trading back up, I'm going to close it. High of the session here is going to be 942. Ideally, what I'd like to see is that get taken out. Give this another minute or two here.
I haven't talked too much about my American trade there. Of course, I still have American on the swing too. And look where it's at. It's right on resistance right here. So I could sell this or I could just let it work. So in my case here, since this is a little bit of a longer outlook that I'm doing is I have it break even on a stop loss. So I won't lose on this trade, but I'm just going to let it work. Whatever it does is whatever it does. Next layer of resistance would be 13. That's when I can sell some. SPY starting to slow down.
Easy Mike saying, Ryan, Macy's on 34th Street the day after Christmas is the best shopping ever. Yeah, I can imagine. I would imagine that the employees that are there don't even really want to be there. And you know, to me, I can see why you're saying there's probably just an absolute sea of deals on that particular day.
Even GameStop getting a pop on
No,
this. It's just goes to show you guys.
Jay, I have not done any research on Indy, and it is no one's fault but my own. I've actually been dealing with several different issues outside of work that has really kind of taken my attention away from the market. It's actually still on my list. I just haven't done it, and I have no one to blame but myself.
GameStop here, set up off the VWAP. We'll see what happens there, but it's trying to hold the 1290s pullback. Made a move there towards like 1336. We'll see if it holds this 1290 pullback, and then comes back up through 13s. Next layer below this is 1275. Just bringing up a name that some traders might like out there. I don't know if you guys are too much a fan of GME, but it's definitely pulling back here on the VWAP. We're finally starting to see a little bit of pullback there. What you got, my friend?
INVO trading up. Sorry, I was looking at that on a different screen. Let me pull it up on here.
Yeah, I have it right here. I was looking at that one a little earlier.
Okay, you were already looking at it. Perfect.
Yeah, the big thing for me on that one is the hourly levels kind of make sense. It had the cup and handle pattern, and now I wouldn't want to see it break $2 and start stair stepping. So higher lows, a trend that we need to see start working here. And then if you look on the 15-minute, what do you get? Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. This one's not considered the down 3. So at this point, I wouldn't want it to break the 203 spot, and it needs to get through that 240 spot if it's really going to get hot.
234, the upside spot on INVO. Here, Mitch, this is actually an interesting topic. Let's open this up for discussion here for the group. How do I judge the right time to close, call, trade today? How do I sense a reversal in a situation like today? I want to ride the momentum as much as possible, at least for once. So this is a really good question, and I'll take this first here, Mitch. I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks, including the chat. This to me is the hard part in trading, right? The hard part is knowing when to sell, because a lot of times you don't really know when to sell. The biggest thing for me is that I am never trying to get out on the top tick. If I do get out on the top tick, by the way, 234 coming up on INVO here, keep an eye on it. If I do get out on the top tick, great. I'll be happy about that. You know, whatever, copy the trade, put it on my wall, whatever the case is. The reality is that I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to gauge the momentum. So what I would say here is that if you're making profit, don't feel bad about paying yourself. Eat it is a perfect example. By the way, INVO breaking out of that now big time. Glad we talked about that 3 seconds before it happened. 234 snapped. This thing's printing 245 and looks like it's going higher here. That is the exact move that we were looking for out of that spot break. We gave it to you here. Just to kind of finish up my thoughts here, I don't know that there's one right way. There are a lot of people in here that use different indicators, different charts, different time frames. Mitch is great at going to different time frames to trying to identify different levels of support and resistance. A lot of the times for me, I do it on feel, and sometimes it looks like I did it wrong, right? I think, oh, I feel like we're going to reverse here. I close my trade, I book my gains, the stock goes higher, and I think to myself, oh, maybe I sold too early. There have been a number of times where that's happened, and then even 15 minutes later, stock's lower, and I was pretty good at myself. So I don't think there's one right way to do it here. Just make sure that you have some type of repeatable process that you can pay yourself with.
You guys see the setup there on GME. It's setting up pretty perfectly there. So, of course, Konda, we'll take a look at that. And one of the main things is, of course, we can tell you guys levels and process. But the big thing is learn what works for you, right? And what do you like? Are you a moving average person? Are you a trend line person? Do you like using RSI? Do you like using the MACD? This is why I talk about indicators should be used for what? For conviction, not necessarily entry or exit. So what I mean by that is as long as the indicator stays, let's say, positive for me, I can use that as a conviction to stay in the trade. Once the indicator indicates to get out, then I can use that as an indicator to say, okay, now the indicator is telling me that I need to be wary of a turnaround here. And I can use like the support wherever I'm at, let's say if I'm long, to go ahead and set my stop. I think it's also important to maybe keep up with the momentum. If you're in a momentum name, I use the 9 EMA for that. You guys see that all the time. That's that light blue line that I bring up all the time. Like, let's say perfect chart here, Burlington, right? You get that nice little spark out the gates, but it could pull back to that 9 EMA. And I always look for that kind of pullbacks to 9 EMA as one of those ways to look for it. On the daily, you can also use the 9 EMA. Take a look at Microsoft, right? Let's go to the daily really quickly here to show you guys that you can do this on Trade the Pool also, but I just want to kind of show you it right here, guys. Let's go to the multi-chart. I think I still have those on the multi-charts. Let's go to the daily here. It's not going to show it there, so I'll just go to the main chart here. All right, so the main chart, you see how this is the light blue line is staying way below the pricing? That's what I'd be looking for. I'd be keeping like kind of this trend. As long as this trend doesn't break, it doesn't break in price action below the 9 EMA, I can see the stock as grinding higher. You can even use a tighter time frame exponential moving average. I have the 9. Maybe you want to move down to the 5, and it's going to be way closer to the price action, but it can also tell you when the trend is changing. Right? That's what I kind of use. It's always up to you guys, what you guys want to use. Let me know if you guys have any questions. All right, let's get after it.
A couple of things I wanted to add from the chat. A couple of things real quick. Half Hitch Brewing. If I buy on a dip under VWAP, I sell at VWAP. No guarantees it goes through. Bingo. And in fact, if your regular share size is like 1,000 shares, I'm just making up a number, and it trades up to VWAP, you bought the dip, sell 500 of it, book those gains, keep yourself exposed. Jay Rice saying something very similar without using VWAP, saying calls why you can't just buy one. If you buy more than one, you can sell one when it reaches that first target, pay yourself, just like I was talking about, and then keep exposure for a higher target. In some cases, you might have multiple upside targets, and you might be able to layer some of these call sells at those targets. So another way to do that there, a really good point here. This is actually one of the things that when I price out what options I'm going to buy, in some cases, if I'm looking to take like a very small position on an option contract that's really expensive, I only buy one. I don't like buying one for the very reason that Jay is mentioning. I like to be able to sell out and keep exposure at multiple levels if the stock actually performs. So James here saying, in certain accounts, I force myself to sell a share at 52-week highs when I have a position that is more than 4% in my portfolio. This seems to me like a very rules-based risk management approach. James, I think that's great. I think it's going to be really easy for you to kind of turn that into a mechanical process as long as you follow some of these rules. EKS saying, I scale into positions. I had coffee and hot cocoa this morning, so I think I'm probably flying a little bit. I scale into positions so I peel off the high cost shares and reduce my average cost and raise cash. Notice that what he's talking about is paying himself without saying I sell at this point because such and such indicator. Basically selling, I scale into positions and then I peel them off as it's moving up. You're literally talking about actively trading a move that's moving on momentum. At least it feels like that to me. 13 says, morning, what's good? 13, I went over the breakout of that wedge that you talked about here this morning that we were talking about before you left. What's good is the market. Things are going good today. We got an active chat. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're up in the prop account. We're up in the main account. Things are good. Hopefully things are good with you.
All right, guys, I just wanted to point to Target today as a strong move. And I know that many of you will probably not take a look at that, but I see the classic nice volume added on Target. This is a classic kind of chart that I'd be looking at, is looking for volume pops off support. So that's exactly what we got on the 10th. And now you're getting smaller volume as you go back to the resistance. I think this could be finally the turnaround on Target. We'll find out.
I'll let you deal with that. Forget Target. Real quick, I am going to address this comment, though. 13 saying, Ryan, need to tone it down with some Bailey's Irish Cream. So here's what I'll say about that. First of all, Bailey's Irish Cream in coffee is delicious for any of you that have never tried that. I don't make a regular habit of doing this. Here's what I'll say, though, 13. I was just going to say, I will do this on my birthday. We'll do it as a group. I'll add a little Bailey's to my coffee. We'll have it for my birthday. My birthday is, of course, St. Patrick's Day. So, we'll do the whole Irish theme. Looking at the calendar next year, St. Patrick's Day falls on a Sunday. So I think what we might do is we might celebrate on Friday, March 15th. All right. So we might celebrate that Friday, March 15th. We'll all do a little Bailey's in the coffee.
No worries. We don't got to wait long for mine. Mine's December 18th. So stick around, guys, in just about a month.
Okay. We'll get the Baileys lined up for Mitch's. By the way, closing
I
save.
do some eggnog. How's that? A little eggnog.
I don't like eggnog, so I'm going to let you do that. By the way, closing save here. It's breaking down. It's not able to get back above its VWAP. If this changes, if the situation changes here, we can always re-add it. But for right now, just paying myself. Don't need this to come in and even more. So far, I've been wrong. I don't need to stay wrong, right, Jay? Don't need to stay wrong. Jay saying, Ryan, I had a bearish trade on the Qs last week. I got it wrong. I got stopped out. If I'd held it, I'd be down another 50%. Don't stay wrong. Okay, I was hoping Save was going to take out 940 and move higher. It did not. I paid myself. I'm not going to stay wrong. We out here.
That's the only way, baby. I'm looking at one that if you guys feel like we're going to continue some strength here, I am interested in maybe even playing the big lots today off like 390s here. Just because I'm seeing such strength in discount stores. Look at the move in Costco.
Yeah.
Ryan, why didn't you not yell at me when Costco was at 500?
Because I miss it myself, Mitch, because I can't, for whatever reason, I cannot seem to add this stock on weakness. I'm no good at it, bro. You should have yelled at me, Mitch. Well, what is this?
I know, bro. I know. Trust me, I was yelling at myself. What a move there in Costco. It's ripping, guys. That's why I was also talking about BJ's yesterday. See if maybe that could get the lift there. That's starting to push all these discount stores doing strong moves. Even Walmart, look at that. Continuing higher, guys. It's been a monster move. Look at the breakout there in Walmart. Last 3 days, this is what you call the advancing shoulders kind of play. When you've seen this on the daily, this is breakout city. And a lot of times if I see the leader show me this, I look for the laggard. Money Mitch, you got to share the eggnog recipe so we all can partake. You know it. Pinkies up. Actually, I might show you guys the Puerto Rican version of eggnog. Coquito? What? I might have to show you guys get you guys a little culture mix here. Show you guys a little bit of that. Gonna have
anytime Mitch comes into the chat and says he's gonna culture us up, that generally means good things are ahead.
You know it. The Spanish, they know how to make a drink that's similar to eggnog. I wouldn't say it's exactly eggnog, but just as sweet and goes really good with rum.
Is anyone else just really excited for the holidays? Like, I woke up this morning. I'll tell you guys, I'm gonna tell you something personal here real quick. I woke up and the first thought that I had this morning is I cannot wait until Thanksgiving. I cannot wait until Thanksgiving. Isn't it a week from this Thursday?
Yeah, man. We're actually not too far from it.
It's literally next week. Like, guys.
Man, Disney. Yesterday, I wanted to swing Disney. That was probably one of the ones that I definitely missed yesterday. It just keeps pushing a little bit stronger here. We'll see if these trades start to pull back, guys. I'm finally starting to see a little bit of some pullback on a firm. So now is when we're finally getting the turn. And what is this turn? After pretty much almost like an hour in the market, this is when we got to be careful. We are going to get at some point a little bit of a pullback. Now the question is, are we buying the dip here or waiting for a little bit longer? One thing that I've been noticing, and I've been talking about it, a lot of these trades have been happening in the afternoon hours. So I never am a proponent of trading usually from like, say, like 12 to like 2. But lately, it's actually been pretty good action.
Hey, go to where the action is, right? Skate. Well, actually, the Gretzky quote is skate to where the action will be, skate to where the puck will be, not to where it is. So maybe that doesn't follow. BCDA, by the way, breaking down here, looking to go to the lower end of the range. Bosch Trading, nice to see you, Bosch. Thanks for joining us here today. Bosch saying in the Netherlands, only people over 70 drink this. I think that you're talking about eggnog. Is that right? I don't know, but that's an interesting comment. Good to see you this morning, Bosch.
Yeah, you want to know why I'm super excited, Ryan? Because I'm going to the Heat game tonight, baby.
Oh.
Heat Charlotte in season. Let's go. Gonna go watch my Heat do it right. Actually, I've been watching more basketball than football. I know Ryan wouldn't agree with this, but I've actually been watching more NBA action than I've been watching the NFL action. It might be because my fantasy teams have been really garbage this year, but hey, that happens sometimes. All right, guys, what are we seeing?
Can we get a wellness check on Mitch, please? Wellness check on Mitch for watching more NBA than NFL.
What can I say, guys? What can I say? I try to mix it up, guys. I mix it up. All right,
dude,
guys.
I have been watching so much hockey. Like, I am so excited for the Blackhawks and their 18-year-old that is just dominating every game. Like, oh my God, it is so much fun. So I feel you.
James,
no judgment.
James, mac and cheese, you do it right. None of that box stuff, guys. Do it right. Get some heavy whipping cream. Get some elbows. Do it the right way. Get a nice little block of cheddar. Do it right, guys. Make yourself a nice little base. You guys know I'd be chefing it up on my Twitter. If you guys want to keep up with that, you guys know where it's at.
Hey, look, I'll say this. I did not anticipate liking a tweet about food from you over the weekend. And then all of a sudden I saw you were acting with one of our, I think it was Becca in our community. And I was like, oh, I have to get involved here. So Mitch, you keep chefing it up. We'll keep talking about it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Bechamel, you know it, Jane. And that's how you make the best. And I would say pasticcio, not lasagna. But that's how you make it with a bechamel sauce. Oof.
Bechamel, yeah.
All right, guys, we're getting a little pullback, but the TLT is hanging tight. That's what I want to watch. TLT ripped, of course, on this move. Look at the support. Clearly drawn right there, right? Let's see if it holds here and comes back down below this 89.60s, or does it hold here and take the next layer up? Let's say a move to 90, closing on a 5-minute basis. That's kind of the move here. Let's take a look. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the trend line here. And you guys see that trend line approach. Can we get back and actually close above the 90 on a 5-minute basis? Show a next run. That's what I'm going to be looking for. If we don't get it, then I'm looking for pullbacks. We'll see what happens here. Next layer down, 89.20. What you got?
13. I always do Thanksgiving. My friend cooks the entire meal. She does a great job with it. So I'm always home for Thanksgiving, but one of these years I got to fly out maybe the day after and get myself some leftovers from your deep fried turkey down there in Texas. I bet it's to die for.
Michael's talking about scaling in and things like that. I think it's very important to learn that action. You know, a lot of traders will tell you that they don't believe in scaling in. Believe it or not, it's up to you to find out if it works for you, but it's been one of the things that has definitely helped me. And the biggest thing that I talk about that is, you think algos go full size in at once? No, they usually build a position up. And I think that's what I tell myself sometimes. Let me trade more like the algos versus trying to trade kind of just in and out like a momentum trader. That sometimes just doesn't work for me, at least. That's why I don't scalp, because I would have to go full size in immediately and then take full size out immediately. That's not up my alley. Jay says, I love scaling in on downtrends. Yeah, and you have to do it really slowly sometimes, right?
Yep.
Because you got to be careful with that, because you are catching the falling knife. But if you're smart in those outlooks, you're maybe looking for deeper time frame pullbacks, or maybe extremes on the RSI, on the MACD, or maybe downside capitulation, looking for that real negative day to catch that bottom. Things like that can definitely help you. And those are leftovers, essentially, right?
Well, no. Well, 13 saying that the turkey is so good there might not be leftovers for me, is what he's saying.
Yeah, no.
Which
I haven't done a fried one. I've seen too many bad stories on TikTok, and that might be the reason.
Yeah, but you can't. See, here's the thing. Like, you can't take what happens on TikTok and be like, this is reality, because you got a bunch of idiots out there on TikTok doing a bunch of dumb shit.
That's the truth, unfortunately, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what are you guys seeing out there, team? I'm seeing even energy pushing higher, so that just goes to show us how strong we're seeing today. Financials are up and continuing to the upside. Let me see the JPM move, and that was probably the day trade that I should have taken. You guys saw me hesitate on it. I was considering it, but look at JPM here. That's kind of like an easy signal right there. Just break, hold the VWAP, recover it. It cut down through 147 multiple times, came through the trend line, held it at the 147 kind of 50 level, and then just pushed higher. Not a bad move there. So you can maybe take a look to see other banks like Bank of America doing really well here. And why? Because they're playing catch up to the overall market action, right? And so if you're coming in today and you're heavily positioned in technology, are you adding to those positions? No, you're probably looking for the laggard style sectors to go into those and maybe catch some of this rally, right? Because those are lagging behind the action and are now trying to play catch up. And it's interesting to see it, right? You guys know I don't believe in these long term, but that doesn't matter, right? You're still seeing that action. Look at basic materials just jumping today, copper jumping, FCX straight up and not pulling back. Those type of actions you want to be able to catch.
PXMD, interesting formation here on PXMD. You can see this is actually trading up on some pretty good volume here, pulling back. Maybe this is going to curl and make another move up here. No position on PXMD, but watching it for right now. SPCB still ripping here. That penny stock play, definitely a good one. And then the other thing here, EJH, looks like that broke down a little bit. So that trade, yeah, big knife there. EJH halted to the downside. God, that's like a 50-cent pull more. Big move down there in EJH. EKS, you were talking about this being a scammy one. I think you were on to something, my dude.
We'll see what happens there, man. Still getting this action right now where I'm kind of taking a look at it to see if we get pullbacks, but the Qs are holding the 9 EMA. You guys know I talk about that all the time. Will we make the next move back through the 385s now? That's what I'm watching on the Qs. Apple's still in the red from the open. Can those go green? Of course, I don't expect too much from those. Google's one that I've been watching to fill in the gap. Did we already fill that gap? I think we might have already filled it. Yeah, we hit it. 137. That pop towards 137. That's a nice one there. I'll show you guys Google right now as this fills the gap on the daily and now starts to pull back around. So you see the filled the gap, starts to pull around. Literally, you can see it right on the chart. The wick is literally where? Above the body close. But where's the body close right now? On this body. So you guys can see how it's kind of fighting that resistance, but the gap fill there.
Looking around here, NVIDIA's still off the highs. Apple's still off the highs. So some of those big cap tech, not quite at their highs, but really not breaking down. Market's still raging here. Really liked that print this morning.
Smash the like for this one. This is an interesting one here, guys. And I think this is an important learning lesson too. So a lot of times, a lot of traders tell me that you can't make like money in these higher price names because you can only get such little shares. Look at Ulta right now. Ulta would be that kind of stock that I would tell you guys that the truth is, yeah, I can't get too much of this, right? It's $388 a share, but I have 5 shares on, right? That's not big. That's very small, right? Let's be honest, at least number wise, right? But look where the stock is
Your
now.
XRT, just to give you some context, your XRT position is 33% bigger.
Yeah.
So it just goes to your point, Mitch, that even though you're the higher price stock is not even your biggest position, still generating some gains for you.
Yeah. $51. And where's it at? $398. I'm at $388. You think I'm stressing about this position? No, I'm 10 points away and letting the market do the heavy lifting for me right now, which I think is very vital. Bosch Trading, I know you're joining us in the chat. I know you join Benzinga Live sometimes. Hey, the door is open to you, my friend. If you ever want to come on live trading,
that would be
a little
awesome.
bit of the action. I wanted to throw that out there for you, Bosch. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is out there. REITs are strong today. I called that out real early with real estate leading, and it's continued to lead. And why could you have maybe thought about that, right? When we get these kind of whipsaw actions in the market, the most beaten down areas can a lot of the times whipsaw right back. That's clearly
that was what Jay was saying about BIOS earlier, wasn't it, Jay? BIOS one of the big beaten down names.
Exactly. And you can go after it in that case, right? Or maybe take a look into the space.
Beaten down sectors, sorry.
Yeah. Industries and sectors, right? So that'd be the industry, and then maybe looking to see what's hot there. Well, BNTX up about 1.78. BGNE doing pretty decent there. And that's why I was looking at the Pfizer play, right? I talked about Pfizer earlier today for pullbacks to the VWAP. It did it, but it didn't go all the way to the VWAP. That's why I didn't take the shot there. It was close to it, but I see the reversal there. And this is off weight loss mentions yesterday. And now what does it do today? Look at this. 1 minute pullback, just a slightly off the VWAP, and then now pushing right back higher.
Real quickly here. Have to shout out EKS. Have to shout out EKS because when we were first talking about EJH several days ago, he had mentioned that he was going to stay away because this name is quite scammy. We saw another day where this traded up. We had a nice little run out of the open today where a high was literally hit on volume. And look at the rejection. In fact, the high print of this candle here, 372. The stock is 270 right now. We've shaved off $1.02 in very, very short order. 2 halts down. This feels like a liquidation. Big time shout out to EKS, who, when I was sitting here day trading this, by the way, another reason why you do short-term trades on this stuff. Even if you were day trading this today, you could have gotten hurt. So always be careful. Big shout out to EKS for mentioning some of the possible downside on some of these names. We're seeing it today. We didn't see it for 2 days in EJH, but we're seeing it today.
All right, guys, going to look for some pullback closer to the VWAP here for Deere for a pullback. Industrial's pretty hot today, guys. So keep your eyes on that.
Mitch, make it happen, dude. Let's just make this happen.
Always. That's why the door's open, guys. And the door's not only open to Bosch, right? The door is open to all that want to come on, be about process, trying to help traders out. And like I always say, paying it forward, right? That's what we're here for. Guys, if you guys enjoy a truly supporting community, hit the like button for us. And if you're new to the show, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be here battling along with you guys. And I think that that's really why this community has grown and we keep growing every single day, is because we're all trying to support each other and know that this game's hard. We're never going to say it's easy to trade. If you guys hear me say that, please smack me through the camera because I'm going to need it. The truth is, trading's hard. But can we do it? Yes. With a processed approach, it can be done. Let's get after it.
That market just ripping here.
Dude, it's kind of hard to jump on things, man. This is why I'm loving that I was positioned.
Same.
Beforehand.
I was just thinking that. I'm so glad we were positioned going into today instead of trying to react. Now, I will say there were some moves in some of these smaller names. So, I mean, even if you weren't day trading some of these smaller names, in particular SPCB, I know it's a penny stock. I don't really do those, but there were some opportunities here. But you're right, Mitch. The way to go was to be positioned going in here. That's what we did.
I'm going to go ahead and try to get in here on Deere on pullback, kind of a more swing trade approach, 372.50. Why am I looking at Deere? Well, because it's a laggard on the daily, right? It has 370 support, kind of a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders outlook. Has been a beaten down area. Industrials are green, getting a nice lift today. Remember, Boeing was one that I was playing yesterday. I actually took that completely off. I got half profits on the first target, and then I just took the rest on in the green. But Boeing's staying hot today. I'm going to look to see if I can get this quick little dip buy in Deere.
Yeah, Boeing gapped up with the market, but very much like NVIDIA and Apple, just kind of traded down. Boeing a little bit different. It's at its intraday lows here, still at a decent spot at 206 and change, but Boeing that high print right after the market opened. Needs to regain VWAP here intraday. Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good. I'm just going to go ahead and do what? You guys hear it all day long today. Let's do it, baby. Took another off there, another $30 off on the XRT just to pay myself, right? I'm paying myself along the way. And I think it's very important. Why? Because now I'm up towards daily resistance. That's right here, the 62.46. Why not pay myself, right? From this point, I'm ways away from here. And the remainder can just be that swing. I've paid myself enough now. I paid myself like $80. This was about a $50 risk, and I'm still up 110. This is what I like to do on the swing trading action. All right, why they're holding BA down? I mean, it had a monster move already yesterday, Terry. One thing though, that there's still the catalyst that I talked about, that China could support the 747, which could give it another lift.
Yeah, you were talking about that yesterday, I feel like.
Yeah, and it was a reason why I was taking the swing trade in the first place. But my problem with Boeing was it was already too extended, and I hate swing trading extended stocks, right? Unless I'm in at the bottom, right? If I'm in at the bottom, then hey, and the extension looks good for me. But a lot of the times, if I see a stock like Boeing that already had a great day, it's not necessarily the best day to swing it, right? Because it could have just gapped down into the gap. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I got to get rid of some of this and look for the pullback back to maybe 200. And then I can play a little bit more of the swing. AAL won't let that go red. It's right there on 1218s. If this could make a move to 1250 today, we're going to be looking golden. My break-even stop is already set there, so can't lose on this position, and I love those types of positions. Tell you one thing, guys. When you're in those can't-lose situations, those are going to make you feel a lot more confident, and like we mentioned this morning, might be able to keep my hair, right? So important.
Bitcoin knifing here. 36K on the futures. See if it breaks that 36K.
The smallest size, guys, sometimes will really show you guys that the truth is, a lot of times, at least for me, I found that if I can let positions work and let the market do the heavy lifting and not be so heavy lifting on what share size, it might actually help me. Utilities staying strong, Duke staying strong, bounce back on the day. Utilities were dragging yesterday. Energy is still bouncing back, but doesn't look as strong. And so over time, a little part of me is looking for like a move back on the XLE to maybe get short on that. And a lot of that is a downward trend line that would bring it back to like 85. So this is just outlook moving forward. And I'm giving you guys this way ahead of when we get there, right? Versus trying to take a look at it when we actually are there. Let me rewind to like at least 2 years of action here. There we go. Now you guys see it. And now I can draw this line for you guys and show you exactly what I'm looking at on the XLE. So you can see how we broke this line here. And it could come right back to this level and then cut back down. So I'm going to draw this a little bit thicker so you guys can clearly see it. And I'll make it red because this is kind of the shorting off this level. That's what I'm going to be looking at. So anything back into this space where it comes back, like let's say above 85 towards 86, that looks like a short to me. We'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, Boeing had already that deal with the UAE Saudis. Yeah, that one's been done. But the real question is China, I think. At least I would be looking at that. SPY will get to 450 by lunchtime. Dude, we might get to all-time highs. Like,
isn't that 480?
Yeah, but no, it's 460, right? At least, no, yeah, all-time highs, yeah, 480s. But 460s in reach,
say,
right?
dude, if we go to all-time highs today, there's going to be
the 460s. I mean, is definitely something interesting. To get to 450s, I mean, just think about it from where we were on the bottom. Just what? 14 days, almost 10% higher. Man, if you thought this was going to happen, guys, you guys can call it out in the chat. I don't think anybody thought this was going to happen, at least this level of push. This tells me big money was just waiting for that downturn in the SPY to maybe get big.
PXMD, huge push here. Did this get halted to the upside, PXMD? No, it's going to, though, if this holds here. PXMD, wow, what a move. Yes, there we go. Trading halted, PXMD halted 313 to the upside. Humongous move, up 83% here today.
Lifting stronger there, guys. All right, let's go back to that GME move. Ooh, it's continued. That was at 1290 pullback. You know it's struggling? NVIDIA. We'll see what happens on that one. Will it make the 500 run? Had a pre-market run to 498. So if you guys like that one, at least just for the day, it's interesting as it tries to hold VWAP on pullback here and take 500. I'm still in the camp that NVIDIA is the one that ends this rally, but that'd be at the end of the month. And have I missed the rally in NVIDIA because of it? Yes, I have. But could I have gone long at 400? Like my man Dennis Dick did too. He did go long there. I don't know if he still has it, but I can tell you guys right now, there's no way I was going long on that 400. Technicals just told me no, and sometimes I got to listen to myself, right? You can be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong, as long as it's also not just costing me money, right? Not going to catch every rocket. Meta's been a rocket, that's for sure. That's up there to 334s. Tesla's been in the red here. Can it get green? That's just from the open. I always pay attention from the open because that's going to help me determine a lot of what the stock has done. Because if it's a pre-market spike, that's not so sexy as an intraday spike. It's setting up here for the move. We'll see if we get it. AAL above that 12 now? Yeah, 1222s. Is your save starting to move, bro? Nah,
I took gains on save. Where's it at though?
It's at 920s. It's not moving as much.
Okay, so it's not. So I don't feel so bad. Okay, great.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? Sometimes we got to stick with the leaders, right? Because look at DAL.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right.
DAL strong, UAL strong, and those are the three. I like this like 3-0 type of trade where you get UAL, AAL, and DAL. Maybe all three, and we're separating that money in between them, but it doesn't look too bad there.
Mitch, the viewers would like you to stop killing the Santa Claus rally.
I talk about it all the time. Santa is bringing coal this year. You got some bad kids out there. I'm sorry.
Ooh. I wasn't going to go there, but damn, Mitch just come out firing.
Got some bad kids out there, man. They deserve their coal. Nah, on the real. That's a good joke to play on the kids, right?
So
give them a whole bunch of coal in their stocking.
Speaking of a good joke to play, have you seen that soap for men that's Big Lump of Coal?
No, I haven't.
It's literally a soap bar that says Big Lump of. I want it just on principle of having coal in my stocking. I wonder if it's good soap. It looks good. Look
Jay,
that up
I do watch Redler at 6:30. You would be in on NVIDIA. I don't copycat trade. So if someone says something to get in there, I don't just copy them, Jay. I got my own opinions, man. I stick to them. I'd rather be transparent, stick to my own decision making skills, admit to when I'm wrong, right? Wrong on the NVIDIA in the short term. Will I be right in the long term? That's what I'm looking at. It's important, guys. The truth is you're never going to be right. And if I'm copycat trading, well, then I might as well just go to other platforms. Let me just say that. There is some platforms that you can copycat trade. Hey, power to you guys if you guys want to do that.
Here, this is what I was talking about real quick, Mitch. Just to look at this.
The lump of coal.
Duke Cannon, big ass lump of coal. And it's a soap bar. It's $9. I mean, I kind of want to try this just because I think it's hilarious.
It is.
I would love to get this in my stocking so that I could say I got a big ass lump of coal in my stocking. I mean, that would make my Christmas, honestly.
They got to change the shape, though. I want it to be shaped like coal.
You want
coal
it to be
does not
like
come like a brick like that, bro. Trust me, I do barbecues all the time.
Well, I trust you, Mitch. Don't worry.
and I get the good coal, not like we're talking, like just your average brick stuff. No, that's not a real coal. I like the wood coal style. That's the good stuff for the barbecue.
Okay.
All right, guys, it's 10:41. In a little bit, we'll be getting to All Access. I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a great day. And the truth is, what have I done? Not taking a single trade today.
You did a good job positioning yesterday is what that tells me, Mitch.
Money, 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 guys. You don't always got to make trades to make money. And a big part of that is swing trading here and letting the trades work for me in this case versus taking too many trades on a day where the truth is it's been hard today, right? Look at people in the chat. I am with you guys. It's been a hard day to take trades today, right? I can't blame you guys, right? And you can be wrong. Just don't stay wrong, right, Rando?
PXMD, oh my God.
I'm telling you what. Oh, go ahead, Ryan. What you got?
I was just going to say PXMD opened out of halt, went to dollar, and is coming back in now. But wow, what a pop here, PXMD. This was mentioned by a number of people in our chat. Going back to you, Mitch.
What's one thing that I talk about with those smaller names? I want to see the IWM up big to play those smaller names for big moves. I know that this is not something that a lot of smaller name guys use, but look at the IWM today and then look at that PXMD, right? When I see this type of action, it can help these stocks lift off. All right, guys, we'll see what happens, but a whole bunch of names in the green there for me. So just looking to let them work. Best Buy, can we get the next move up? I'm going to be having that profit take here towards the 66.80s, but I'm going to cancel it now so I'm not heavy on the tape. I'm looking for the next little push here through the 66.60s to take a little bit more off and then let the remainder keep working for me. The big one that I'm going to let continue to work for me is Ulta. Now we're back above 400, and I think this is such a vital spot to get back above. If we never cut through 395s at this point, I'm just going to hold it, team, and let this continue to work. This could be a multiple day, even let's say a multiple weeks kind of swing. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's see what else is out there, team. Looking for some action, team, and the action continues. CVNA, Carvana to 32.69. Affirmed to 26.11. I'm glad I at least brought up that stock as one of the like kind of risk on type of names you're going to be looking at. That is pushing strong there. Will AI get the lift? C3 AI, that's getting the lift. It's up there back to 30s, believe it or not, team. Interesting action today, that's to say the least. Can Apple get green and will Microsoft get green? The big cap names haven't really done anything today. I'm glad we were talking about that also, that maybe technology just doesn't get that big of a rip today because it's already gotten it.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm looking at some of it, you know, like Apple still hasn't gone back to the highs. Nvidia's still not at the highs. You know, so like the Twilio that we were trading, Twilio back up $2 today. I'm actually going to close the second half of my position here at a gain. Looked like that was going to go to zero, but I'm going to get bailed out here with 3 days left on that. Jay, I know you you sold and rolled those out to December, I believe. Well, you got a calendar spread, maybe. I can't remember what you did with yours, but
look at AVGO. This is probably the one that I'll say that is still moving in tech. What a rip here, guys. Up there to 970s. Look at the daily chart on this thing. Holy smokes is right. Look at that takeoff from 820s, now 872. Even, let's say, in this case, Ryan, I talk about this all the time, right? About having small share size. One share in this stock. One share would have made you what? Guys, over $100, $150.
Wow.
One share. And how much did you have to risk there? Maybe if you got it around the 820s, maybe about $20. So the risk to return is what's always important, right? Is it $20 for $100? Things like that. That's what I look at. 13 says AVGO wants 1,000 and wants those four digits, wrong. Baby. It wants those 4 digits. It's definitely on the run. I can hear it.
That is a good sound drop right there.
I'm feeling it today.
One.
Having a good time.
That is a
guys.
good one.
Having a good one, man. All right, guys. We'll see if we can keep it going, but it's been a hell of a day here today.
I was going to say, we rocked it here. A huge shout out to our community. Here's like the only thing I'm worried about, Mitch. How on earth is Zunaid going to follow us up on a day like today when we just absolutely destroyed it? Like how do you follow us up? I don't know.
AI Rod bringing in one of the best stocks that I was looking for, maybe laggard action. I missed it today, AI Rod. I wish you would have brought it up earlier. I'm not going to be mad at you because you're always a beast, but SMCI is definitely one that's lagged. And now with this technology run, will this start to get the move? You guys know I swung trade this just a little while ago. This is actually looking pretty interesting now. It's a little bit too extended for me to buy today now, but look at the hourly. Look at the resistance right above. This actually looks pretty strong today. All right, guys, it's we got 341 of you guys. How many likes can we get today? Today's one of those days where I definitely got to push for them, man. Support us as we support you guys every single day, guys. I'm going to check the like game here, but where we're at, this has been a great show. I don't think we can do a better show than today, right? I mean, we're absolutely killing it, guys. Smash the like. I see 124 likes. Can we get to 200, guys? Hit it up there. All right, let's keep going. What else do we got there? Watch out for coin reversal into the uptrend. Let's take a look there. How is coin in those Mara type of plays today? These are the days that they could just run, right? Coin is pulling back, but I do like how it keeps holding around the 9150s. So that's kind of like the part where I'll get the hell out if I need to. But look how it did this little gap try yesterday, and now is clearing that gap try. So it came back into the gap, gave you a wick below the gap, but the body closed above the gap. Very important outlook for me now. As long as it can hold that pullback towards, let's say 9150s. Now I actually kind of like coin overall just in the short term. And so that's this 9150 recovery today. Doesn't look too bad there, guys. We'll see if it keeps going. How's the Mara? Mara still not back through 10.
Bitcoin bounced, by the way, off that sell-off, so...
Yeah, that's where you got to be careful. I think one of the things with Mara is that I like to play it more on a weekly candle and a daily candle than the intraday, and trying to get it near support so I can have a good risk to return. We'll see what happens on that one. Best Buy getting that push there. Let's go. Let's get that next push up through the 6680 to the 6680 level. And I'll take another half off this. I'll take like another probably 12 shares here. So pretty much half of it. I can do 15. Let's do 15. Just looking for one more push here on Best Buy to take a little bit more off. Get myself to like maybe like, let's say, what would it be? It'd be like close to like, I would say $200 on the day. And just letting the swings work, right? We're still up like 113 on the XRT. I'm going to continue to let that one work. And I stepped up on this one, guys. I have 59.17, but originally I had something in the 58s. I just added yesterday. Target's an interesting outlook, Quantum. I've talked about this earlier today. This actually looks strong. And it actually looks like it got some buy the dippers in here. I'd like a pullback to 109. I'll take a swing trade off 109. But I don't want to buy it up here.
Jonathan mentioning ACHR. Absolutely love this. I talked a little bit about this earlier when we saw that Joby was on the list of gappers here this morning. We said, look for ACHR to follow. First of all, let's start with ACHR's daily chart. We talked about this last time. This ran up from about 450 up to this 575. We talked about it quite a bit here. There might have been several days where we traded this off of the relative volume scanner. We've really kind of come back in a little bit here, but now breaking out of this sideways formation. I'll be honest, I love this, and we're actually in a gap that fills at 5.99. Let's call it 6 just for ease here. So another 15 cents here on this potential gap. If we zoom in, if we zoom in on Archer, you can see traded up a little bit yesterday, really just kind of drifted up in the pre-market here today. And this is clearly moving with the market here today, right? As soon as the market opened, this thing pushed higher. We're at highs here, 586. Archer looking really good. I don't have a full position loaded up. What I did with Archer is I bought this months ago, or maybe not months ago at this point, but a while ago. I bought 100 shares just to force myself to watch it. I paid $634 for those 100 shares just to kind of keep it in my account long term. And it was down pretty big. It was down like almost 2 points. Here we are. This thing is almost going green here on Archer. I'm not actively trading this. I still think that this story here is a little bit of few years away, I should say. But I am holding a small position in my account just to force myself to look at it. Archer up 12, almost 13% here today. 12.8%. Monster move here in Archer. Dude,
this is when you know also when
James
the banks
is
are moving.
going to the golf course today. I am okay, James. I'm so jealous. First of all, like I would love to do that on a day like today. I also
Should have
just
invited
got.
Zunaid. He probably would have left his interview today.
Oh
But
man, dude, I would have loved that. I got a new putter that I'm trying to use. Oh man, James,
Zunaid's in
enjoy
the
it.
ATL, man. We gotta get him on here. Look who it is, the man himself.
Whoa.
Let me tell you this. Here's why. I appreciate the invite. You didn't send me an invite, but that's fine. Not
Right?
you, but
James
that.
is like,
Take that.
I
Appreciate
would
you,
have been
James.
down.
I went to Top Golf in Alpharetta with the fellas, and my back hurt. That's how awful my form was, Ryan. My back hurt. I just wasn't great. I was like pinching my elbow. I was pulling my elbow. It was horrible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Have
man.
fun. I haven't stepped outside today. I know it's 65, but I don't know if it was chilly or not. But have fun.
I mean,
man.
65 is shorts weather, bro.
Yeah, but if it's like windy and I don't know.
It's like
Yeah,
free.
I guess you're
That's
used
good.
to it.
The humidity is what affects here in the South, all right? We have like 75% humidity with like 50 degrees. It's completely different than that kind of dry cold. Trust me, the Denver cold is completely different than the East Side cold. I'll give you guys that.
And real quick, Zunaid, I'm glad that you showed up here. We get questions what seems like daily. Where's Zunaid? Is Zunaid still here? We tell him all the time.
Let's plan.
Zunaid's doing some things here. He is still here for sure doing some things. Great to see you here today. You're welcome anytime. You don't need an invite from us.
I know we've mentioned this a few times to the folks, but like, for example, with everyone gone in New York with the great event that we've got at FinTech, I've been recording a few things in the morning for some other stuff, non-Benzinga related. And then today we do all access. We've got another interview that we're going to pre-record at like 11:30, then another one at 12. And then we've got news clips to record as well. So chat, I'm here. I'm hanging out.
He's out here. He's doing it. Believe me,
busy,
is
baby.
here, guys.
Yeah.
There's one thing
somehow I got to pay for these haircuts. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, and one thing we always say here, I mean, if at Benzinga you have time to do stuff, you're doing it wrong, bro. You're doing it wrong.
Exactly. There's always other things to do. Zunaid, no stranger to that.
Amen to that.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. We'll let you hop if you want to so you can get ready for your interviews. Coming up in just about 5 or 6 minutes, guys. Stick around. My man Zunaid is going to lead that. The freshest fade on Wall Street.
Freshest fade on Wall Street. Oh, he's got to get that on a business card or something.
Somebody get me a T-shirt. Yep.
Yeah, get something,
bro.
Zunaid. That's too good, dude.
I've been stepping up, bro. Let's go. 2% better every day.
Let's go,
Don't
Mitch.
stop.
Love it.
All right, pal.
All right, guys, let's keep going, guys. And Zunaid will be with us, of course, on All Access. So stick around, team. We have a great one for you guys today. And yes, winner, butter chicken all day, Lynn. I actually found that Publix has like this kind of interesting butter chicken recipe that you can kind of actually make it, like add the chilies, add the spices. It's pretty interesting. Check it out. I'm gonna have to bring that up.
Let us know. Hey, Mitch, we saw the wings over the weekend. Get us the pictures of the butter chicken. I'm just saying.
It's a
plus. We'll talk about it.
It's a plus. We need a segment. Gerard says Zunaid's Corner. You heard it here first. He smiled. He liked that one, Gerard. I'll give you the light.
Tell me what you would want. Send me a DM. Let me know what you would want that segment to be a part of. If it's fundamentals, I can't do it. I think if you've been a long member, a viewer, you know that. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little options trading action in Zunaid's Corner, right? We need some options trading action. My man's the man. It's always good to see you.
And let me ask you guys a question. What about? I'd like to ask the group this, not just you, Mitch and Zunaid, but the entire group. What kind of podcasts would you like hearing from us on the side? Like we talk a lot about food here and different stuff. How about a sports podcast? Would you like a sports podcast on the side? It's another side conversation. Zunaid talks about haircuts. Esports could be another one Zunaid's already plugged into. Yeah. Let us know if there's any, because like I've talked to some of the other guys here. We'll like, doing stuff outside of work hours, and a sports podcast has come up a number of times, and we're not short of any opinions over here. So that would kind of be fun. I think we could kind of morph that into something else. I know they're building a podcast area in the office.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I was talking to Aaron about it because I'm, it's funny because just last night I had a conversation with a wonderful podcast individual out in LA, Espray. She does some cool stuff there. So the podcast that I'm starting, and I'm talking to Aaron about how we can figure out how to do it best with Benzinga is like kind of like your underdog stories, right? So the podcast is called Fearful to Fearless. So it's like folks that have had fears, overcome them, and how they've been successful over it.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can find a way to have Benzinga be a part of that with distribution and all that. That'd be a fun one. By the way, speaking of esports, if anyone is out there in the Sweden world watching, I'll be in Sweden at the end of November. So if you want to come hang out, let me know.
We just
You can
had
slide into my
somebody
DMs.
mention that.
Sweden? Yeah, I'll be at DreamHack Winter, is what it's called, out in Sweden. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Wasn't it Bosch? Bosch Trading, I think, is there.
That's the Netherlands.
Oh, I wanted to make sure. Because if he was out there, I was gonna get him out there. We gotta get him out there. Like always,
we gotta have a
guys.
golf one, Ryan. If you're gonna talk golf,
Dude.
include golf in there as well. You
I'm,
got golf and baseball right there with
You know, golf needs some better commentary. So I think, yeah, Ryan, that would do it.
don't
for
even
me,
get,
man.
look, if I, look, now you guys are really getting me excited.
Some
If I ever got an
turned-up
opportunity
commentary.
commentate on golf, oh my God.
But we got to make it fun. Like add like big noises, like when they do like the drive, like a big blast.
You know how when we have those annual golf trips from Benzinga, or the outings or whatever, I don't
The
know.
golf outings, yeah.
Annual, yeah.
Yep.
We should find a way to record those, maybe like a sky shot or whatever, and then have you commentate and create content out of that.
Well, the problem with
I like
that,
it.
first of all, I love the idea of a sky shot. We could probably get that done with drones, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And the golf course would look really awesome. Really good idea there, Sinead. The only subpar part of that idea, I would say, is that I play in that. I can't possibly commentate. I play in that outing.
Yeah, but when other, I guess you're right. I don't really, in my
just
head,
mic
it's
you
like
up, bro.
everyone's you're waiting.
There
it
you
mic you up.
Oh man, let me
know
tell you,
what I mean?
that's
man.
we got to
That's
put
good.
a
That's good
age restriction on that. If we mic me up on the golf course, I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. That
That's
might
what the
not be
people wanna
suitable for all
see.
audiences.
That's what the people want to see. They want to see
No,
the
they'll see
real emotion, man.
Yeah.
They want to see
The people
realness.
don't want to see me duff a shot and then string together as many profanities as I can think of in the moment.
What?
That's not what the people want.
That sounds like Barstool Sports,
I'd
bro.
watch it. I'd watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the next shot will be a pure shot 2 feet from the hole.
No, what I want to see is someone swimming in the water because they had to go get their ball.
The only time you jump into the water is if you make a hole in one. Believe me, if anyone from the Benzinga
Oh, is that
community
tradition?
made a hole in one, dude, the last hole in one that I was at the course when it happened, all of the dudes jumped into the water. They all jumped. I would never do that personally, but just saying. All right, we had a ton of fun today. Sinead, good luck on All Access.
Appreciate ya.
I'm out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.
Appreciate you.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. I'm going to let you guys know if you guys want to keep up with this action. Of course, you guys can keep up with me at MoneyMitchBZ. I'm going to keep swing trading these. You guys know my approach in all these names. American is the one that's just slightly net P&L down because that includes some losses from yesterday. But we'll look for these seeing that green today. A day where I made 156 here and didn't take a trade. A lot of that based on swing trading action. You guys can keep up with the swing trading action on Start Swing Trade. It's always good to have you. Now it's time to let the one and only Zunaid takes over.
You.
The freshest fade on Wall Street.
I appreciate that. That is Money Mitch. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. He's got a lot of great insights on fundamentals analysis on the technical side as well. But now we go ahead and get started with All Access because the number one thing that we love to do here at Benzinga is to get you executives from publicly traded companies so we can get your questions from the chat answered. And today we've got a great one. We've got Hamutal Yitzhak, who is the co-founder and CEO of Else Nutrition. The ticker on TSX is BABY as in baby, and the ticker on the OTCQX market is BABYF. And without any further ado, All Access starts right now. Good morning. Oh, looks like we may have you on mute. If you want to just check the StreamYard, you could just hit that unmute button. Oh, now you're muted. Maybe your hardware, anywhere on the mic, possibly might have a little bit of a mute button there. Let's do this. If we can't figure it out in 10 seconds, Malia, if you want to go in the green room, we can see how to properly fix it. Nothing quite yet. Okay, let's do this. Malia, if you could hop in the green room and see if there's a way to see any issues that we might have there. We'll kind of turn over gears while we wait for that. We apologize for the interruption, but let's go ahead and talk some stocks. You get to kind of hang out with me for a little bit, and I'll go ahead and throw up my charts on TradingView. Let me actually go ahead and take this banner, and we can just go ahead and turn this to live trading for now. Let's see what we've got. There's that. Let me change this over. Let me know if there are any stocks in the chat that you guys want to go over while we wait. Wow. You just had the Qs. I'm just looking at the stocks here. Let me actually just go full screen on this. And Malia, you can just Slack me whenever we're ready, and then we'll do it all over again. Well, till then, I'm going to go ahead and share my charts and go kind of full screen on them. Let's see. This is what I'm looking at here. I mean, this is just a bit of a crazy run. Let me see how we can actually... Where is the background? Malia, if you could take the all access down while I show the charts, that would be great. But here's what I'm kind of looking at, right? This is the NQ. Obviously, this is the micro side of things. Beautiful run up. By the way, I'm in a trade with Apex. I'm doing a prop firm challenge with Apex. It's a $300,000 account, right? Obviously, again, it's a prop firm situation. It's not real money here. And you have to get to 20,000 to be funded. I'm at 10. So we're like halfway there, y'all. We are halfway there, and this is strictly futures trading. That's all it is. Let's go ahead and check out coin. Let's see what's going on with coin here. Thank you for that, Malia. I appreciate you. I tried to do it on my own. I promise I couldn't figure it out. This is why you're the best. All right, let's take a look at coin. Let's kind of go to the daily, see where we're at here. Didn't it hit 100 and bounce? Yes, it did. Look at that, chat. Our favorite trade. You get to 100, then you bounce right on back down. So if you were looking to like swing this, I personally would wait till we got past 100. And then I think it's 115 where it was the other level based on here, these two wicks on the dailies that I was kind of keeping an eye on. So we got to get past 100. Then I'd be interested in it. But if you're strictly talking about a day trade, I could go ahead and take a look at VWAP here as it's under VWAP. If it breaks 96, so if we break kind of like the pre-market highs, then I think you can have a chance to go ahead and knock on the doors of 100 possibly today even. As you can see, you had resistance here. You're facing that same resistance 2 days later as well. What was my Halloween costume this year? I actually don't think I did anything on Halloween. I was in Toronto for an esports gig with the Raptors. So I actually don't think I did anything for Halloween because it was like right around that day, and then I was just traveling back and forth. Give me a second, y'all. I'm just looking at my chat. All right, so that's what I got on Coinbase. Let's go ahead and see what else y'all had. AFRM. All right. Hamutal, do you want to try again? If not, we can see if sorry, y'all. I'm like on Slack and talking to y'all at the same time and everything. All right. Hamutal, keep an eye on your representative's email. We're going to go ahead and send you a StreamYard link that you can join to kind of go ahead and test things out there. Looks like we're going to figure out what's happening here, but taking a look at AFRM. So this one was interesting because $20 is where I had traded this one, but I only got it to like 22. You know, you don't really get a chance to, I don't really swing as much. But this is one that I played at $20. Now it's all the way at 25. Let's kind of take a look at the 4 hour. You can see how much resistance you had every single time we got to this 25 area, but obviously we cracked above and we came right back down. I'm not really sure how I would play AFRM, to be honest. I genuinely am not sure. $20 is where I was playing it, and then I got out. And now I would just kind of be figuring life out. But you can see you have a little bit of resistance here at the 27. So you could kind of tell yourself, hey, if it breaks 27 and comes back to retest it based on that reaction of the stock, I could get in this one, maybe have a target of 30, stop loss of say 26 or so. That could be one way. But yeah, what's your take on your end? So something that welcome to the chat, Elon. I'm not sure how long of a viewer you have been, or maybe if you have different usernames, but I'm not a fundamental trader. So I don't really have a view on like the Santa rally or anything like that. I'm someone who comes in 100% cash just about every single morning. And I just trade what I see in the morning. That's it. And, you know, sometimes I'll trade the afternoon and things like that, but that's really about it. So I don't really have any take whatsoever. I apologize for the year-end rally. Taking a look at ARM, the $50 bounce. This is something that I played for a couple of bucks a few days ago. As you can see, you had a nice little bounce, and then we went ahead. When I played this, by the way, at early November, yeah, I bought it at 50. I think I bought it. So here's what I do. So if I want to buy, like, say 300 shares, right, I'll buy it at $50.25, $50, and then also $49.75. And my stop loss was this low here of about break of 59.50. So that's how I kind of make sure I have an average of $50. And even if it doesn't get all the way back there, at least I have a little bit of taste of the pie. And so that's the way that I played this one. Had a bit of a run up here all the way to $53, but I got out at like 51.50 or so is when I got out of this trade. Now, that's great. What can you do? 54 break. If this one goes ahead and breaks 54, you have a bit of resistance here. I think you can go ahead and knock on the doors of 55 and 56. You can kind of see we were, you know, you kind of came up and down. The reason I have this marked is strictly for $50. You can see when it IPO'd a few days later, that's a beautiful place that I had a chance to play this one as well. Options, I don't think were out at that point. So this was just strictly stocks, even the few days ago one. But if it goes ahead and breaks 54, I think you got a chance at 56. Now, if you go ahead and break 56, you might be able to get right back. But again, not a fundamental trader, strictly day trading. So it depends on where the highs of the market, the lows of the market end up being the pre-market. So don't just base it off of this. I'm saying this is where I start, and then I'll take a look at, hey, what are the pre-market highs? What are the pre-market lows? And base it off of that, which is why I have my stop loss right underneath that. Yeah, I don't really like the overnight risk whatsoever. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know you were in Toronto, man. That's awesome. I was, give me 1 second. Hamutal, if you could do me a favor and check your chat, it'll be on your StreamYard. If you look at the right-hand side, you should see something that says chat. Give me a thumbs down if you don't see it. Okay, you do see it. Perfect. Thank you for that. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's take a look at Meta. Oh, you know what I want to take a look at? Netflix. I think it had a beautiful bounce off of 400, which I only played for a few bucks. I did not get the whole move. There it is. Yep, I knew I wasn't crazy. So here's the bounce from 400 on Netflix from the end of October. So right before Halloween, you had a bounce from 400 and just it continued to go. You see it had about $11 move. I only got about $2-3 and I really got to like buy smaller size and shares and see if I can continue the whole day or not. Because I get anxiety, y'all. Like I can't buy something and then like not really look at it unless it's like a very small share size to where, God forbid, you know, something happened and the market dropped 7%, I'd still be okay type stuff. But anyway, let's see what else we've got here. We take a look at ARM. We take a look at that. Let me go ahead and fix that back up here. Disney's an interesting one. Disney was like an $80 stock that I wanted to buy, but every time it dipped below to the 78s, which was, where did I get stopped out here? I kind of kept getting screwed on the back and forth of the $80 level, but then when it finally broke above, I just got tired of it and I never got back in this one. UPS was one that I was keeping an eye on at the 150 area, and I'll show you why. Let me go back here on UPS. So here's a 150 right here, right? So I had purchased UPS. I lost a couple of bucks on it, but then I made it back when it went back to test the 150 and it came all the way down here. And now I'm still waiting for the 150 to break. And if it breaks it and it holds, I'd be a little interested in going long UPS. A buddy of mine had hit me up to look at this stock, and that's where I kind of was in terms of that. And then let's see. You've got SPY, by the way, approaching at the moment at the 450s. That's going to be an interesting level. You can see last time we were here at the 450s, we did reject hard straight on down and got us all the way down 40 points. Now let's see what ends up happening. Let's see if we've got any action here as well. I'm sure if we go back here, you'll see a little bit of stuff's there. What do you think, Chad? I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful play in it. And it looks like I'm getting the thumbs up. Yeah, is that right? All right, perfect. Let me go ahead and bring my screen down. You can see my lovely face. We'll go ahead and throw up all access. Yep, we still got time. We're good. And we'll do it again, chat. Here you go. Ready? Take 2 on 3. Here we go. Appreciate you all for joining All Access once again. You know, we love to bring you executives from publicly traded companies so we can get your questions answered in the chat. And of course, today we've got a great interview. It's interesting. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about baby because you know you got to set them up for success. So today we have Hamutal Yitzhak, who is a co-founder and CEO of Else Nutrition. Ticker on TSX is BABY, as in baby, and ticker on the OTCQX is BABYF. All Access starts right now. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, Zunaid. Do you hear me now?
I hear you perfectly loud and clear.
These were 10 minutes that were quite stressing.
No worries. No worries at all. That's the beautiful part about a live broadcast. But hey, I appreciate you for joining. There's a lot that I want to get into, especially, you know, I've got nieces and nephews that are just born. So there's so much I'm interested in learning. But before we get into the nitty gritty of things, if you could explain it to me like I'm 5, what is it that your company does?
So we are leading the early life plant-based clean nutrition revolution. We've got the world's first whole plant-based dairy and soy-free product. It's an infant formula range from 0 to 36 months. And we are actually commercialized in the North American market with all the products except the baby product or the infant product, I would say. That is the 0 to 12 months, which is involving an FDA clinical pathway. So we're in the middle of that. And besides that, we are commercialized with products from 6 months up till 13 years. Baby cereals, toddler nutrition, and kids nutritional drinks, heading towards adult nutrition as well.
Right.
We've experienced a 10x growth in a number of stores that retail stores that we've been in since the beginning of 2022 to the beginning of 23, with partners like CVS and Walmart and many others. We've got a very strong industry and scientific expertise. We're backing up everything with science.
Right.
And we've got the most sustainable product in our industry, got 65% lower carbon footprint versus any other dairy brand. And of course, we're covered with patents. We got a very strong IP portfolio covering all aspects of the product.
Now, something that you mentioned, I wanted to get into as well, is you mentioned that you are the cleanest whole plant-based alternative to dairy and soy-based nutrition. That's something you brought up here as well. How can you ensure that that's the case? Well, you mentioned science as well. So how are you able to make that claim?
So that comes with the understanding that any product in this category or in this industry has to be produced with a broken down ingredients. You can't create an infant product or an infant or a human milk analog from a cow's milk ingredient. You have to break them down. You have to break down the cow's milk to the nutrient level, meaning you have to take the casein, the whey, the fats, the lactose, break them down, and then reconstitute with some other ingredients which are external, and create what in that way you're creating a kind of an ultra processed food. Actually, it's not very healthy.
Right.
And what we developed is, besides creating a novel protein source, which is the combination of the almonds, buckwheat, and tapioca, we created a completely different way or method to process the ingredients, which keeps them all intact without the involvement of any chemicals that break down those nutrients, without any derivatives of those ingredients. We keep them intact. The proteins are intact. We're not involving any acids or solvents, which are used in the other guys in certain formulas. We are not isolating any proteins. We're not doing any hydrolyzations. I don't want to take you into all those professional jargon, but it's a different way of processing. Right. And that's why it's a way more clean product. And of course, we are also certified by the Clean Label Purity Award certification, which tests about 400 different contaminants and heavy metals and other nasties that are sometimes, found in baby foods and
Yeah.
not in ours.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So-
chemistry was not my strong subject in high school nor college, but I trust you and the folks that have given you patents that you know what's going on. I've got a question from the chat, and then I want to talk about your finances that you just had reported, and we'll kind of wrap it up. Crow, I see yours. I'm going to kind of include it with this one here, where as parents, how will we know if our baby is lactose intolerant, and is Else Nutrition doctor recommended? And of course, we also had a question about if folic acid was in the ingredients. So in whatever order you want to answer those.
So you will know if your baby is lactose intolerant. If he has any issues with, it could be reflected in different ways with the baby. It could be, a skin rash. It could be any kind of gastric or gastrointolerance. Any kind of even sometimes it could be, respiratory problems or any kinds of issues. It can be reflected in different ways. So I think only doctors can really determine what is the exact problem. But I think lactose intolerance is the least prevalent problem within infants. It's more allergies and in other intolerances that they may be there, more to the protein and not to the lactose. Lactose intolerance is more prevalent with adults or kids at a later stage. There are many other issues, but it should be definitely, diagnosed by a doctor, by a pediatrician.
Yeah, because I had gone to a doctor's appointment, like call it maybe like 8 years ago. And then, the doctor was like, yeah, you're lactose intolerant. And I'm like, I'm 26. I'm 26. I've never had this issue. And I learned that you can develop certain tolerances and intolerances as you grow older. So that was a fun thing, but I still eat ice cream. So but
it's an enzyme that exists in our intestines. It's called lactase. And as you grow, sometimes it just diminishes and you get intolerant.
Yeah, got it. Let's talk about your financials and we'll kind of wrap it up. You had your earnings that you had just went ahead and reported as well. Any oversights, any highlights that you can provide us and the viewers?
Yeah, well, as we announced, our recent 2 quarters were quite soft. We anticipated that because we pushed a lot of goods into the stores in the first quarter of this year. Mm-hmm. And that initial fill into additional 10,000 stores, which we announced, we grew from, as I said, from 1,200 to 13,000 in a year.
Right.
In a year's time. So you have to streamline your supply chain. We had a lot of issues in supply chain. We also had a mechanical issue, but we knew that we had to shift products from the e-commerce to the retail stores because we cannot say no to a Walmart or a CVS that's anticipating to get our stock or our inventory. So we decided strategically to do that. That was one thing. And we filled those stores with huge orders that were discounted. How do you call it? Whatever. They were discounted. They took big orders and they started to deplete it across those six last months. And we anticipated that it will happen. And then, on the other hand, we have announced a very strong projection for the next quarter, for this quarter, actually, for the fourth quarter, projecting something between $2.7 to $3 million in revenue for the fourth quarter, which represents something between 60 to 75% growth. Because we are now seeing the repeat orders starting to come very, very strongly from those retailers. It took them 6 months to deplete. Right. And it takes time to build velocity in stores. That's what people need to understand, because the retail industry is lumpy. And you have to understand that it's not a linear growth and it takes time to build it. Right. So these are the highlights. There are many other things, but
Awesome. Well, I mean, I totally get that, right? You have to make sure that, hey, get them in the stores. Do folks like them? Do their customers come back and looking for them as well? Great. Then, it's a process for sure. We see
Correct.
that quite often with a lot of other brands as well. Well, I mean, we've had some great conversations about, the cleanest to where you are now, where you're looking to go. If you could, I mean, the floor is kind of yours. If you want to talk to our viewers for about 30 seconds or so, any insights that you were hoping to provide that I didn't get a chance to bring up, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, so we've also announced the ready-to-drink shakes coming listings on certain, leading online marketplaces and leading Canadian retailers, and many more to come. I can tell you that we are currently in discussions. We think we have a winner in hand because palatability, the taste and texture of this ready-to-drink product is amazing. We were told by the big box retailers, which have tested and tasted it, that is the best in category. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm really telling you that we really have a winner here. I think it's because it's a whole plant. It's a whole food and not a broken down protein. It makes a difference.
Right.
So we are already told by at least 3 or 4 big box retailers that they're onboarding us. I cannot announce it yet because it's not 100% yet. Right. And we are now in submissions, and some of them, because of the planogram is changing only in a few months. It's not something immediate. So some of them we will see just in a few months, and some of them will be immediate. But this is a winner, and we are anticipating significant revenues in this year and moving forward from that category. Yeah. On top of that, we've already developed an adult nutrition product, which competes with Ensure and Boost. Okay. And I think we have a great product in hand and a great market proposition because we are plant-based, and It's a tasty, finally something that tastes good in a plant-based arena. Yeah. This is news. So yeah, that's what we see.
Well, I'm excited for that, especially the adult category, especially because as I've gotten older, I've learned that, hey, what you put in your body can impact your moods, your energy, and different things like that. Absolutely. As well. So, of course, I want my nieces and nephews to have that, but I'd like to be selfish and put some good things in my body that taste well as well. Absolutely. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time here today. That is Hamutal Yitzhak, who is the co-founder and CEO of Elsa Nutrition. Really looking forward to the next story that you bring to us. All right. And thank you so much, chat. We appreciate you for hanging out with us. We got to talk some stocks. We got to have some interviews. We always love getting your questions answered from the chat. So thank you, Matthew, for involving us here. And we thank you for watching All Access.